You're welcome to Breakfast Central here on a Friday. You're welcome from wherever you're watching across the world. This is Breakfast Central, a new Central Television, the best place to start your day, where we bring you the best news, highlights, information, insightful conversations, and everything you need to know and start your day right. I am Benga Aboroa.
And it feels good to be back. I'm Joe Hansen, welcoming you on a Friday morning. Oof, time flies, right? Yeah. I mean, we only just started this week.
I remember when it was Monday, just a few days ago. I wonder what's going on. Even the year, I think 2025 is one of the fastest years on calendar.
It's an Usain Bolt year.
We're in the ember months already. Very soon you start seeing Christmas decorations.
Imagine that. I mean, it's running very fast. And I mean, we're glad that you're here with us. That's what really matters most. And we're welcoming you officially to the last day on Breakfast Central for the week. You're going to have breakfast extra. That's the extra, of course, of breakfast where
because we know you need to have breakfast to survive 7 days of the week.
Absolutely.
So we give you the weekend dose. That's breakfast extra.
That's right. So you can join Mazzino and, of course, the likes who will be teaming up to bring to you the latest stories. But for now, we are here and we're welcoming you to the show. By the way, it's been a mixed conversation from yesterday up until now. And are we excited to note that we will be touching base with some of these very interesting conversations, one of which is what we're going to start off with.
Yes, our wake-up conversation.
Yep.
Let me just give you a preview. If I was to be a civil servant in Delta State, I will have to take off my facial hair and look like a mouse.
Look like a mouse?
Because that's what I'll look. You know, it's like a lion without its mane.
Oh, yeah,
it's
he looks...
part of my appearance, my personality, and I don't think it's bushy. But the
Delta State governor.
The government of Delta State has said it's banned bushy beards, fake hair, lashes, fake nails in the civil service. And you're wondering,
you know,
I mean, is this, are we still a democratic state? Is this Turkmenistan or North Korea? Because why are you legislating or passing? I mean, you can talk about dress code and things like that, but going into like details of fake hair, beards, and all of that, is it really necessary? Is it priority? Is that what the people of Delta State are lacking at this moment? Is that the most pressing issue? But let's take a look at the...
I think the first thing is just to let them know what the story really is. The Delta State governor, of course, you could say the government of Delta State, of course, led by its governor, Governor Sheriff Oborowori, has come out with a new communique. In this communique, it's alleged to mention that anyone who works for the civil service going forth will no longer, I repeat, no longer grow bushy beards or wear...
This guy working in Delta State.
No, we'll just put it out there for you, for us to show you eyelashes, and so on. Even there's a cap called resource control. You're not to wear the resource control cap. You're also supposed to wear papa's cap. Females are not prohibited from coming to work with artificial, braided or dyed tinted hair, long eyelashes, and fake nails.
Everything fake.
Fake nails. You can't wear fake nails again. That's what the governor says. So the governor is simply saying that if you work for us, you have to come looking like a human being.
Certain appearance.
Reality, real. So the ladies that put up, you know, those lashes and do like this, the governor doesn't want to see anymore.
I really wish.
He wants you to look, you know, the way you're supposed to.
I really wish Olive was on set as a Delta and as a woman.
But don't worry, on Monday we shall let her know.
We update her on everything she's
doing here on this set going forward for Monday. We don't want to see her with anything. Olive must give us kokoro.
Yes. But the good thing is she's not working in Delta State Civil Service. So,
and
she also
must heed the call of the Delta.
She's a responsible young lady. She doesn't tint her hair. She doesn't do all those. She's not excessive.
Are you saying that people tint their hair are irresponsible?
No, they are. I mean, am I not responsible with my beard? So, I mean, it's
so that question we should pose it to the governor.
To the governor, and I wonder what informed.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask. Why would the government? It's like Lagos State. Anybody working in the Lagos State ministry going forward, you must barb adoring. Sorry, adoring for our viewers. It's remove all the hair from your head. You know? Say adoring.
Score.
Wow. You know, and then
it's
no
quite
more
shocking.
beards and so on. And is that the pressing issue?
And then you're infringing on people's personal
Thank you.
freedoms.
I mean, where in Nigerian constitution?
And how does it affect productivity of the staff? Okay, maybe the typists, they won't be able to type
Or maybe
with their long nails.
Maybe maybe the permanent secretaries and all that. Maybe they are always distracted.
Or by the lashes, you know.
Yeah, the lashes.
blinking,
You know, when they blink too much.
it might trap you.
You know, the lashes, it claps. So because the lashes is clapping, it's not allowing them to understand and do their job very well.
Wow.
So they have to focus. But then again, I wonder what's really going on with the civil service space in Delta.
I mean, maybe the nails are work hazard. Because your colleague might come to explain things to you, and that nail can choke you in your eye. It's a weapon.
Or maybe a fight did broke out, even inside the ministry, and somebody used it as a weapon to scratch the other one. The governor say,
But I really don't think a circular is necessary, because in the civil service, in Nigeria generally, we have a culture of respect. And if a senior person or an older civil servant sees, like maybe a Gen Z civil servant that is kind of excessive in their appearance, there's a way they'll pull them aside and talk to them that, you can't do this and all of that. But to come out and, this is kind of embarrassing to make such a pronouncement with what is going on in the country and all our priorities. It is.
What shocks me the most is that we are living in the 21st century. And this, last time I checked my calendar, it's 2025.
Yes, that's why I said...
It's not 1996 or 1972 or 1945.
Yeah, that's why I compared it to the civil service in Turkmenistan and North Korea, because this is what you expect there, where the government polices every single aspect of your life.
Anyway, let's let our viewers share with us what they think. But then again, let's see what Nigerians are saying on the social media space, particularly on X, concerning this new directive. And I'm telling you, my brother, what are you telling us? That's what we want to know. But then again, let's see what's going on.
Let's take more reactions.
All right. So the real problem in Delta State isn't unpaid salaries, poor infrastructure, or insecurity. It's beards and braids. This isn't governance, it's policing vibes. Public service should be judged by performance,
absolutely,
not appearances. And we would mark 100%. We're with you on that one. Catches Ono says, clearly the key to improving governance in Delta State is to tackle the root cause of all problems, beards and braided hair. It's a bold move that will surely revolutionize.
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
I love his sarcasm.
What manner of sarcasm is this? Wow. Catches Uno. Okay, all right, we'll see what you did there.
Very bold move.
Okay. All right. James Morris says, when the government cannot provide basic amenities like water, good roads, good healthcare system, sound educational system, and so on, and put this out along with 18% tax that they don't know how I got the money, if it's mine or not, then it calls for anarchy.
I don't understand the call for anarchy. Let's move on. Obeyde says, break it. GDP to be measured in beard trimmings and nail clippers. Forget oil, revenue, or agriculture. Delta State's new economic plan apparently runs on silent waste. Every whisker shaved and acrylic removed is now a patriotic contribution to the state's growth chart. I mean, I don't blame him, since that is what seems to be the focus of the government. And this person says, for how much salary? I mean, they're helping you save your money. You know, going natural is kind of cheaper. You don't have to buy Brazilian hair or fix artificial things on your head or waste money on beard cream and beard oil. You know, you're very simple, just the way you are. Just use basic Vaseline.
Basic, and just make sure it's creamy, or better to use oil. Ororo. Just
After all, it's an oil-producing state.
Producing state, so you use ororo. But then again, the sarcasm around this is unapologetic.
Yeah, I haven't seen any reaction from anyone supporting this. Maybe only if you're the one that put out the circular, or you work in the office of the SGF and you endorse this, but I haven't seen any Nigerian supporting this. Because civil service, I mean, if you talk about schools and secondary school, you're talking about working adults, then trying to police them
an adult, somebody who's a mother, who has children, a father who is possibly in his 30s, because last time I checked the civil service, I mean, you could be up there up until 60, if I'm right, or less. But imagine a 40-year-old man who has grown up for a while, or 43, and then he's kept his beard. He has 3 children. He's coming to work. You tell him, go back. Didn't you hear that your biabia must not be scattered? Go and cut your biabia and come back.
Other countries are innovating, they're moving forward, and this seems to be priority.
Look at Dubai. Let's not even go far. Look at South Africa. Look at South Africa. African countries, they're thinking of, okay, what can we do to develop this? We've got oil. It's an oil-rich state. And then what can we do? As
a matter of their religion, also keep facial hair.
Thank you.
Like the Sikhs in India, and a lot of Muslims like to keep.
So what would you do to them?
What's going to happen?
You tell them you have to remove that beard if you still want to keep your
personal
job.
freedoms. I mean, I understand dress code, that people need to dress in a certain way if you're working in an office environment, but this is...
Well, let's hope that the office of the governor will clarify this, and I'm expecting them to debunk it. I'm going to say it here clearly, so before they do it, let me hurry up and do it before them. I'm expecting that the governor of Delta State, the office of the executive governor of Delta State, His Excellency Governor Sheriff Oborowori, will debunk this circular or this statement concerning who and how people should actually look, especially when they're working for the civil service. But away from that, let's move on to another story now on Wake Up Conversations. Federal government revokes 5% telecom tax on voice call and data. Now, this story came up yesterday, and Nigerians, in a different manner, decided to react to it. But let's take a look at the press information
from the federal government orientation agency. Says federal government removes 5% telecom tax on voice and data services. The federal government has revoked the 5% excise tax previously imposed on telecommunications services in Nigeria, a move expected to ease cost pressures for millions of mobile users. The tax, which was intended to apply to both voice calls and data, had drawn widespread criticism from industry players and consumer advocates since its introduction under the Muhammadu Buhari administration. Aminu Maida, the executive vice chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, disclosed that President Tinubu directed the removal of the tax during discussions on the recently passed Finance Act. The development is expected to bring relief to over 171 million active telecom users in the country, many of whom have faced a 50% tariff increase implemented earlier this year. So there you have it, the circular from the National Orientation Agency on the removal of the 5% tax on voice and data calls. So, Joe, it's good news.
It was never welcomed from the get-go. From the moment they said they were going to have 5% excise tax on data and voice calls, it was never welcomed by Nigerians. And we talked about it here as well. Coincidentally, while they were talking about the excise tax and so on, there was also conversation about increasing the tariff on the electricity. So all of these were coming at the same time, if you recall. And Nigerians were like, this is way too much. You do not expect us to remove subsidy. So
increasing electricity tariff. And
it still bothers on a key question I will continue to ask here on this show every now and then when I have the opportunity. And the question simply is, to the presidency, to the current government, administration that's governing, where and how, first of all, 3 questions. 1, how much has been realized from the removal of subsidy?
Important question.
How
What
much?
has it been used for?
It's something I'd like to take to the drawing board. It's just a simple question. 2, why are we having more taxes, and what is the monies recovered or realized from subsidy being used for? Let's cut the crap of the 3 areas always mentioned. I kind of like know it from the top of my head. The 3 pillars. 1, the governors are having more money. 2, we're using it for infrastructural development. And 3, of course, you know the third one. They take you to the educational system that their students are
Student
now.
loan.
Exactly.
I mean, a loan is a loan. It's not free. You still have to pay back.
Thank you. So these 3 areas, but why can't they be used for something else? Are those
and then why are you
priorities?
still burdening Nigerians in other aspects,
Do you understand?
like increasing the passports,
So
in the
what is-
cost of getting the Nigerian passport and all of that? It seems the ordinary Nigerian can't even catch a break.
That's it.
It's really, really. But kudos to the federal government for,
I'm not gonna say
having a
kudos to
human
them, by the way.
face and
No, I won't.
removing this
Yeah, I won't say
5%. It might sound like a tiny drop, but tiny drops make a mighty ocean. So Nigerians, enjoy your
Benga, the
plus
burden is too
5%.
much. Benga.
Yeah.
Currently, as we speak now, let's do a little calculation as we speak now. If you buy data, unlike before, with 6,000 naira, you're able to get at least 30 gig, back then. But ever since these costs came into effect and so on, now your 6,000 naira cannot even guarantee you 30 gig. You're looking at 6,000 naira giving you nothing less than maybe 10, 12, 15, or 14, 15 at most. And the way the data runs, the different conversation, that's a conversation that we would hope to have someday or sometime. Because by the time you load your phone, let's be honest, for those of us who are a bit tech savvy, who understand that some apps don't need to be open, some apps you need to set them not to have auto updates and all that. But it's still shocking that in as much as you've done
The rate of
everything,
consumption is a lot.
the rate of consumption, and you're asking yourself, what's really going on? Is the FCCPC really paying attention to this? Because the FCCPC says that in the latest reports that more complaints did come from fintech
telco
companies.
users,
Fintech companies. And I saw that report and I'm like, really? Are you sure about that? Fintech? I don't think so. I think it should be telecoms, telco, because a lot of people have complained, most importantly, from the telco aspect, telling them, listen, I just bought XYZ amount of data. What happened to it? And then conversations start. So are we going to say well done to the federal government? For me, I would say, well, I wouldn't say well done.
Let's wait and see how much of a difference.
I wouldn't say well done. Let's just wait and see, hopefully. I just feel that there's a subsidy and there are subsidies that have been removed in certain whatever, but it's high time that they look at, okay, fine, what can we do to help? That's what I just think, basically.
I mean, we'll wait and see how effective this policy changes.
Anyway,
If
let's see.
Nigerians will feel the impact. But let's take reactions from Nigerians and hear what they're saying. SY Tahir says, this is merely propaganda designed as usual to discredit the late president and score cheap political points. It is also a ploy to fool Nigerians into believing the presidency empathizes with them. Our immediate demand is to halt the implementation of the 5% fuel surcharge. Yes. Says SY Tahir, let's take more reactions from Nigerians. Refiner Voice says, now, Tinubu, why now? I thought we're trying to make prices even with those of developed countries. Nigerians pay the cheapest phone bills, so please, more taxes on it to jack it up to international standards. Why all the panic reductions? Baba, no worry, no one is going to Nepal you. No be Jagaban you be again. Please keep the taxes rolling. I see some elements of comedy and sarcasm there. Boni Simojo says, hope it's not audio, because as for me, I hardly believe what this administration says sometimes. I'm yet to read a text from my operator company quoting this.
Absolutely.
That's how we heard that the Super Falcons will receive $100,000. Later, we heard they didn't receive anything. It's still early days. So maybe they are still processing the papers. Don't you know how the bureaucracy?
No. If you make a promise like that,
the bureaucracy and the workings of government, it grinds slowly.
I don't agree, because Because when they won the trophy, they didn't tell them to wait after they'll get the trophy. They got it immediately.
USA 94, the guys that, Tunisia 94, that won the Nations Cup. Which year did they get
this year?
Okay, so they should add 30-something years.
Those girls.
They will get it. They will be grandma by then.
Anyway, let's take another tweet quickly. Federal government is scared that what happened in Nepal will eventually happen in Nigeria. Yesterday, it was Tinubu directing FEC to reduce cost of food. Today, they have removed 5% tax on data and voice services. If only people know how much power they hold. He's talking about what happened in Nepal, and I'm sure you've been following that story as well. But just to highlight a very key issue here as well, the issue simply is Nigerians have been pressed by the neck, especially in recent times, with too much taxes
and
that they have to deal with.
You're very right, but we need to, like they say, the devil is in the details and the implementation. It's one thing to make a pronouncement at the FCT, ministers go and reduce the price of food. You think that pronouncement
we're going to have that conversation
would happen in the
well.
markets. We operate a free market economy, so it's the laws of demand and supply. And if
I have bags of rice
that you know how
that
much
I spent 80,000 naira to buy,
and I
now have to sell it at 90.
Yeah.
Then you give a directive and expect me to just
for
reduce
it to just come down
for
automatically.
How?
Let's see what
some directives are good. Don't get me wrong. We like the president's directive of ensure that food prices are down. But we did have
but the things to do to ensure food prices are down is increase production. I mean, make the farmers secure the farms so they can farm and you get produce to the people that need it. Also, prevent post-harvest loss and all these things. Mechanized farming, so there's speed, there's a value chain, and there's a proper way of
don't forget too that the borders
things.
too have been closed. There were rumors. I would like to call them rumors, even though they came out as press releases from the current administration, and it eventually morphed into press release. It was first of all rumored and then morphed into press releases that the federal government would allow certain type of foods
to be imported.
And some, they said they would have to look into their taxing so that Nigerians can have a soft landing. Those foods that they said they would allow to be imported, what impact have they had on the daily lives of every average
Nigerian? I mean, they say that's why
Nigerian.
rice is where it is now, because of this policy.
So there are calls for the borders to be opened. Now, what do they mean by open the borders? Initially, Nigeria also we had food that of course, they were able to pass through the borders and so on and so forth. Now, after these borders have been closed, you're expecting Nigerians to use, which of course is what a senior climb would do. Let's try and ensure that whatever we grow is what we enjoy. Grow Nigeria, eat Nigeria.
Restricting imports, yes.
Grow Nigeria, eat Nigeria, and so on and so forth. But the grow Nigeria is not really working.
The capacity. Now. How much are we producing?
How much? The same farmers are being killed.
The people.
So there's a lot that
So the imports are making up for the
Exactly.
For the gap.
They were. That's why you were able to get a bag of rice back then for 40,000 naira, because if a Chukudi decides to invest and brings in a container loaded with rice, and he says, okay, I've got this rice for 30,000 naira.
Market.
I'm going to sell it for 50,000 naira in the market. And then he proliferates or fills up the market, better still, for want of words. And every marketer, every seller, every middleman who is ready to buy and then sell or reseller is able to note that, okay, I'm expecting this number of bags of rice. I'm going to sell it for this. You benchmark it, looking at the dollar exchange rate. But in this instance, anyway, let's not go deep.
But
I think
the
we'll allow
danger
the
of that
economists
is
when they join us to break it down.
The local industry and local players will be able to compete. So the government, on one hand, it's a delicate balancing act. You're trying to encourage local farmers to produce, but they're not producing at capacity enough because of several reasons, insecurity and others. But at the same time, there's a food shortage. So what do you do? What do you do?
Do you keep restricting the borders?
Yeah.
You open it. It's like saying you don't have water in your house. No, let's use the tank, the water in the tank, let's still manage it. It's dropping, it's not enough, it's not going around. What do? You have a channel where you could just open the tap, and of course you have excess water coming in. So fill up the tank first now, fill it up and use it first. Then you find a way to see how you can probably get more tanks so you can manage the resources that come within the same house. But locking up the extra, space of water coming in and then just say, let's rely on the tank, but that doesn't take care of that. It's a big problem. Anyway, let's see what our next story simply is. Just in case you do not know, if you did see the story yesterday, well, I'm sure you know about it now, but if you didn't, let's bring it to you. The federal government is planning to demolish Carter Bridge. Yes, I said it, yeah. And they're looking to construct a new one. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, was in Lagos again. That means he never left. And they carried out an inspection on Carter Bridge. And one of the things they did was to look into carefully the construction and see if it's still strong enough to withstand whatever it is, including pressure. And in a video, he did state that the Carter Bridge would have to be demolished and they have to reconstruct. Not just that, he made mention of Julius Berger having to carry out an assessment and then give the report of the assessment to the ministry, of which they have tools to look into that assessment if it's true, and then they have to carry on what they have to do. However, don't take my words for it, just listen to this video.
What is happening below the pickup, which means what is it that is happening, below the water, both for Tomeland Bridge and for Carter Bridge. And let me also say that we gave similar job to Major alongside with the repairs of the defects, above the water, up to the deck. So what we have observed is that Major should go back and they write their investigative report on each of the pickups for our return, both for Carter Bridge and for Tomeland Bridge, and the same thing with Mamba. But that's not where it ends. We had insisted that the situation of Carter Bridge is so critical, and it seems that all stakeholders have agreed that Carter Bridge is irredeemable. But what we did today is to see whether we can salvage the ramps so that we cut down the cost of construction and the time of construction. That decision we could not take. We need the consultants and Major to put the observation, and we have instruments we use to determine whether the observations are right or wrong. And if the observations are as they have sent to us, then it means that both the ramp and the main actual section of the Carter Bridge, we have to go.
So you heard it from the horse's mouth, Carter Bridge to be demolished and then reconstructed again. In the course of that conversation, the minister also mentioned that the Lagos-Calabar road, of course, will also now be, they would have to also look into constructing an underground tunnel.
Yes.
That would now lead to
water tunnel.
Water tunnel that would also lead to Badagry. They're looking at, passing through going straight. So it's not just going to go through this other side of Lagos. They now have to also focus on this other side. And that's what you get. But
if we fix the existing roads before having ambitious projects like underwater tunnel.
I was coming this morning and I hit a pothole, and I cried for the car myself. Because at the end of the day, while I was going, I started hearing, I said, okay. You know what it means. Get ready, because your pocket is going to leak.
Yes. The
car will demand that you fix it.
For expenses you didn't plan for.
You just ask the right questions. I mean, while we're not going to discredit the work that the minister is doing, by the way, we've always said that he's one of the most hard-working ministers in this cabinet, because he's always on the move, always on the go. However, many have criticized that he's always in Lagos. Why is he always focused in Lagos? What happened to other, rails, roads, and all that from other parts? But then again, we must give credit to him, and we must agree with him that truly, looking at these bridges after a long period of time, due to the fact that Nigeria has a poor maintenance culture, it's commendable. And since he said that they've looked at the ramps, they've looked at everything,
and
they
safety
have to do what
first.
they have to do.
And
it's understandable.
yeah, he says, it's irredeemable. So the stakeholders have reached a decision that it has to go. But when is construction going to go? What are the cost implications, environmental impact assessment, and how much disruption will it, you know, Lagos is a mega city, how much disruption to traffic and everyday life, how much inconvenience will Lagosians have to go through as a result of this, and what's the estimated construction period? These are questions that are begging for answers.
I agree with you. And also, looking at the investigative reports that Julius Berger would have to give back to him, I think that would decide where they would go from that. And then possibly all these questions will be answered. But that's exactly what the latest stories are. But what are Nigerians also saying on X regarding that story? Well, it's something you'd get to find out, because Nigerians are also speaking, and they're talking about why the Carter Bridge would have to go. Well, Omoba Adeleye Toluchukwu says, now they want to use the excuse that it's irredeemable to, you sure they want to steal? Watch them mark out millions of dollars to construct another one. Omahi go cash out big time. Well, I don't know how true your points are.
I mean, Nigerians have a trust deficit.
Exactly, but this shows that's
see everything through corruption-tainted lenses. Yeah.
If Carter Bridge is truly irredeemable, then urgent action is needed. Lagos can't afford disaster before solutions are found, and that's where the balance comes in. It is time we begin to critically scrutinize new projects, because without proper oversight, the long-term maintenance often becomes costlier than the original investment. And this is where we agree with you. Now, nope, rather than Senator Umahi making this declaration, I think it's high time a non-partisan or impartial agency, a private one, be allowed to do their own investigation of this infrastructure. A globally respected organization that cannot be bought with cutbacks. Adio, you are spot on. Is the Carter Bridge a federal government bridge? Absolutely. Yes, it is. Only in tenure that all structures in Nigeria has expired and needs repairs is needed. Okay, that's all. But then again, trust deficit is showing here from Nigerians, and we understand why.
It's obvious that this bridge is old, there are deficiencies, but because of that lack of trust in the people and the government, they're saying, look, I mean, it's almost a negative thing to say you want to fix things, because the government has eroded the people's trust. I mean, they have to do a lot of trust building and, you know, explanation and a lot of transparency too in their projects.
And I agree with some of the tweets there that says a non-partisan. And I think I agree. Let's get different organizations to come and review, and possibly that would also prove what it is. Okay? Anyway.